Hello guys, welcome to the final part of our Bible series. It's been an amazing couple of weeks because we have been looking at young people in the Bible that fulfilled purpose. We looked at Joseph, we looked at Jonathan, we looked at Esther, we looked at Daniel. And in today's Bible series, we are going to be looking at Jeremiah. Now, if you haven't watched the previous video, these young people that I just mentioned that fulfilled purpose in the Bible, please go check out those videos and see how they fulfilled purpose and how you can too as well. Like I said in today's video, we're going to be looking at the life of Jeremiah. Now, Jeremiah was a young man that was called to be a prophet to the nation. Now, many of you might have heard about the story of Jeremiah. In fact, you might have even come across the popular Bible passage in Jeremiah 1 verse 4 to 5 when God called Jeremiah and told him that I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and I appointed you as my prophet to the nations. Now, this was Jeremiah that was probably in his late teens or his early 20s, and God is calling him to do a task that was very, very challenging. Now, what did God actually call Jeremiah to do? God called him to become a prophet to the nations, to warn the people of Jerusalem about the sins that they were committing, about how they were rebelling against God. These were people that were sacrificing their children, that were worshiping other gods and doing all sorts of things that God despised. And God sent a young man, Jeremiah, to then tell these people and warn them that God was going to then send a different kingdom, that's the kingdom of Babylon, to send them to exile. And Jeremiah's purpose was to warn them about this. Now, you can imagine Jeremiah as a young person thinking, God, how do you expect me to be and stand before kings, before priests, before the whole nation and warn them of something this serious? Now, Jeremiah actually said that in verse 6. He said, "O sovereign Lord, I said, I can't speak for you because I'm too young." Now, many of you as well will probably be in the same shoes like Jeremiah when God has called you to do something. When God is saying, I want you to preach the gospel to that friend in your class. I want you to give that Muslim friend the Bible. I want you to pray for this person that is sick. And you're thinking, but God, I am too young. I am surely too young to be used by you. I need to become an adult. I need to become older. I need to have developed a stronger relationship with you. Just like Jeremiah, we might give the excuse of our age. But now look at what God said to Jeremiah. He said, the Lord replied, "Don't say I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you. And don't be afraid of the people, for I will be with you and protect you. I, the Lord, have spoken." Now, God was assuring Jeremiah that do not be afraid. Don't say you are too young. As long as I am with you, as long as I am backing you up, nothing is gonna happen to you. Just know that I am with you. That was God's assurance to Jeremiah. Another thing that we can also see from the life of Jeremiah is that Jeremiah was very brave, because imagine God sending you that kind of message as a young teenager or in your early 20s. Now, Jeremiah had to be brave, and eventually he warned the people of Jerusalem. He warned them of the consequences of their sins. He warned them just as God had told him to. Now, that was not easy, because Jeremiah had to stand before kings. He had to stand before priests to accuse them. He saw injustice being done and he had to call them out for their injustice. Jeremiah had to stand up against people that were much more older than him, much more powerful than him. But because he had faith and he chose to obey God, he decided that I'm going to do that which God has called me to do. He became brave. Another thing that you'd also see from the life of Jeremiah was that everything that he spoke, the warnings and everything he said actually came to pass. Now, the people probably at that time when he was warning, they would have laughed at him and mocked him and said, who is this young man coming to tell us this and tell us that? But eventually when it came to pass, they now remembered, oh wow, this is what Jeremiah said. He had warned us about this before. So surely God backed Jeremiah up, so that Jeremiah did not look useless. Jeremiah did not look like he was saying nonsense, but God actually made sure that what he said, actually what he sent Jeremiah to say, came to pass. And guess what? Jeremiah had to live through that exile. He had to live through those difficulties. When Jerusalem was being destroyed, he lived through it. In fact, there were times when he was kidnapped. There were times when he had to go through suffering because he lived through the exile that the people of Jerusalem were facing. He saw it with his own eyes, what he had prophesied and what he had warned them would happen. But that did not make Jeremiah to still forget God. That did not make Jeremiah to then say there is no God. That did not let Jeremiah to then believe that, okay, God has abandoned me. But yet, within those period of times when Jeremiah was going through all of this, he still sent a message of hope to the people of Jerusalem. That yes, they may be in exile at the moment because of the kingdom of Babylon that sent them to exile, but that hope was coming. He let them know that God was still going to fulfill the promise that he made to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and even the same promise he made to Moses, and he was going to rescue his people. God did not allow the sins of the people of Jerusalem to stop him from fulfilling his promise. He was still faithful to keep his promises. So Jeremiah was also sent by God to then share that message of hope to the people, that even after the exile, even after all they are going through, that hope was still coming. Now that is such a powerful message for a young man to have to carry. Of course, I'm sure it wasn't easy for Jeremiah to say. It wasn't easy for Jeremiah to live through these experiences, but he trusted God, that if God has called him, God will back him up. My encouragement for you today is that whatever God has called you to do, do not think that you are too young to be used by God. Do not think that God will not call you because you are in your early teens or your late teens. God can call anybody, and when he calls you, be rest assured that he's going to back you up. So I hope that you have learned a lot from the story of Jeremiah today, and I hope that it has inspired you and encouraged you as well, that whatever God has called you to do, you are not too young, neither are you even too old to fulfill God's purpose for your life. Like I said earlier, if you're yet to watch the other videos looking at the life of Esther, the life of Daniel, the life of Joseph, and the life of Jonathan and how they fulfilled purpose, check out our page, follow us for more, and also stay tuned to more interesting videos and more inspiring videos that would help you as a young person to grow in your walk with Christ. I'll see you next time. Bye.